Here's some tea, probably not scalding hot, but like lukewarm, you forgot about it on your kitchen counter, temperature tea. If you can believe it, the sun is out today. I never thought I'd see it again. Oh, hi, welcome to Sewing Nerd Studios. I'm Jo, and this week we're gonna do market prep for 2 different events. I was nervous going into these after the event I did last month was an absolute crapshoot and didn't sell a single thing. So I was trying to get my motivation up and hype myself for entering into this weekend. Also had some custom work to finish. I'm currently at this juncture in time through my to-do list for other people. So I have 2.5 days where I just get to make whatever I want to make for the event I have this coming Saturday, which I will share how that goes. Okay, hi. It's a few days after the spooky Valentine's market I did called the Love Witch Market at Mill number 5. Oh, and I did my nails in a fun mix of black and blue. I already have some of it chipping away. I was helping a friend with their small business stuff yesterday, helping do some production, and I got to do some leather working, which was cool because that's not something I have much experience in. A little bit, but not much. But I made like an absurd amount of hat bands for these stained glass window hats. If I haven't talked about those, oh my god, if you don't know about Sunny Fox Apothecary, some of the coolest shit I've ever seen is coming out of their workshop. It was really neat getting to kind of see behind the scenes and help put some stuff together. It was also a helpful reminder that I do need to make my own labels for my stuff because almost nothing has a label on it. Partly because the color scheme of the ones I already have, I can show you. Yeah, it's this color scheme, which doesn't work very well for a lot of the stuff I have. And it also has my full name on there, which like, I'd rather not have on all of my stuff now that I'm selling more things. My dear friend Crafty Grant came up with a brilliant idea that if any of you are interested in how to make some DIY tags with some ribbon and heat transfer vinyl, let me know and I will share the process. It's nice making stuff that has a look to it that people seem to recognize. Like, I feel like I have a voice in my items that I make and sell, and that was like a really cool realization to come to when I was like, oh, people can tell this is stuff I made, even if it's the same pattern someone else is using or like similar style, whatever. That event I did back in January, that person used 2 or 3 of the same fabrics that I had used, but we had such different aesthetics, styles, whatever you want to call it, different flavor of zhuzh. Hers didn't look like something I would sell, and mine didn't look like something she would sell, and I mean that in the best way, because it felt like, oh, there was like a unique twist to some of the stuff I made that people can identify is the coolest part. I had 3 different people come up to my table and talk about things they had purchased previously and how well they've held up, which was really cool to hear. It's like, I try to make things well and not cut any like structural corners or anything. So that was really nice feedback. Having repeat customers is the biggest compliment. There's this one woman that comes to most of my Mill number 5 markets, and she always buys at least one thing. And she's so sweet about it. Kind of gushes over my stuff. It means a lot that someone who I like her style. She's older, I guess probably like early 70s or something. She's just delightful. And then some new people that had never seen my stuff before. There were these 2 women that spent close to like 25 minutes at my table just losing their mind over like each category of bag that I had, and they kept apologizing. I was like, do you think I don't want to hear how hyped someone is about the stuff that I'm making? This is a big ego boost. Including tips, I made $320 something, which I know for some might not work, but that was definitely more than worth it. Like, that's better than most of the events I do. I gotta say, having actual item tiles in my Square app when I'm selling things has made my life so much easier in a multitude of ways, because I used to just enter the amount on like the keypad and just do the math in my head as far as what the totals were, and then I had a really hard time remembering to check things off my inventory list, and I just had to kind of try to remember how much of each thing people sold and like trying to remember what the design was. If I have in my list, okay, I sold 4 keychain bags, I can do the math in my head to figure out, okay, it was this one, and this one, and this one. That's a lot more manageable, especially because I have deals where it's like $8 for one or 2 for 15 and stuff like that. It makes it really hard to keep track of the numbers of it all. Very helpful having that breakdown. That is helpful data to have going forward. Like why I put off doing that for so long, I have no idea. So the things that I think maybe haven't done so well actually did pretty well. Like I sold more dumpling pouches than anything else on Saturday. Speaking of dumpling pouches, I had a number of the Field Mouse keychain bags with the little strawberries and stuff. This has been a very popular fabric. I ended up getting more, actually. I got my hands on some. I love it very much. And someone specifically asked, oh, do you have that fabric in any other bag design? And I had these prepped. They're pinned. They're ready to get sewn together. I have like 3 of them, if not 4. I would like to finish those bags. And then I do want to make some of the Field Mouse, at least one, into a sling bag. Too long didn't read version. I feel like things are going in a good direction and I'm only getting more confident and that feels really good. I will say one more thing as far as working the markets. I notice I'm way less tired afterwards because I'm not just a ball of anxiety the whole time. I don't have as strong imposter syndrome anymore where my brain would spend so much time and energy just being a dick to myself. Like every time someone else made a sale near me and I didn't, it's like, well, it's because all of your stuff sucks and you suck. And it was like pure insecurity and jealousy of other people. I'm like, it's draining. It's so draining. And I notice a stark difference in how I feel when I come home from markets. Here's some tea. Here's some probably not scalding hot, but like lukewarm, you forgot about it on your kitchen counter temperature tea. Is last month, January, the only market I did was a nightmare. I didn't sell a single thing. The entire time I was there, I ended up leaving early, which I don't think I've ever done at a market before. And I had signed up and paid for 2 more of those markets because the guy running it was doing one February and then one in March. And I was like, you know what? I don't have a lot going on in the winter months. So let me just pay ahead for all of these because it was $25 per table and they didn't have like a big number of spaces. It's like less than 20 vendors. I was like, oh, I should do this. And it's not so much overhead. It was such a nightmare after the first one. There was no advertising and whatever. I'm sure I vented a lot about it in that vlog from the afternoon coming home from that event because I know I was not happy. And I emailed the guy and I gave, some positive feedback. Like the space was beautiful. And I had said, is a 1 and 2 month heads up enough to warrant a refund? And he just never wrote back either way. He didn't say anything to me about it. I'm just eating the cost of that money, I guess. Like, oh, okay, I guess I am out $50 because it's not worth me going to those markets and better to just cut my losses. The night before Saturday, which would be Friday, that guy sent out the logistics email and included me in it. And I was like, I didn't reply. I didn't bother because I wanted to follow up and be like, per my last email, is that a yes or a no on the refund? Is very frustrating. But at the end of the day, I knew it would be worth wasting $25 to go to the Mill No. 5 market for specifically like a spooky bitch market, doing the Love Witch market, spending $50 for that table. So total, technically spending like $75 in table fees for that day. I more than made that back. Like I almost made 5 times 75, right? Is that good math? I don't know. I'm too tired to figure it out right now. It made me feel good and like I was pretty confident that'd be the case. Okay, back to whatever else I was talking about. Thankfully I have those grid cubes, which I haven't even had for a year. Here's a thing, right? I posted a short the other day comparing last year at the Valentine's market at the brewery that I put together versus this year. And what a difference. Stuff like that. I'm so thankful for documenting my process and sharing it with everyone because I get to reflect on it too and see how far I have actually come, because when I'm in it, it doesn't feel like I'm going anywhere. It often feels like I'm spinning my wheels and just burning myself out. But alas, we are actually getting somewhere. Let's jump back to past me before the events even happened, and then we will experience it all together, and then I'll see you back here at the end. Okay, hi. It is Saturday morning, the 3rd of February, and I'm on my way to my first Mill number 5 market of the year. I'm viewing this as my first like real event of the year after what happened at the last one. And I'm feeling good about it, I think. I'm deciding now. I'm feeling good about it. P.S. This thermos keeps my coffee so warm. It's the best because it's like 20 degrees out right now. And this is still warm, and it'll stay warm until I'm home tonight at least. So the table fee for this is $50. So my goal / hope is that I can at least make triple that. And I'm hoping to incentivize people with these little mini tote bags that I made. I'm about to leave the house that I'm cat sitting at because I'm also cat sitting during all of this. I was supposed to cat sit at a second house separate from this. I'm not glad the person got COVID, obviously, but like they had to change their trip date to sometime later in the year, but that means my weekend is hectic because I have today and tomorrow are events, and then I'm cat sitting for someone that needs visits twice a day. Still a lot on my plate, but manageable, much more manageable now. While I was hanging out with cats eating breakfast this morning, there are 3 cats I take care of, and I have to separate them into different rooms. So I usually camp out in the living room with Skipper, the youngest one. One of them's really shy too, so I want to make sure she feels comfortable with me before I even like get the food out. I wait till she comes to see me before I feed them, just to make sure she is around and she is comfortable enough to eat her breakfast. I mean, she came out right away last night, which was my first visit of this trip, but I did take care of them about 2 weeks ago. It took her like a little while to come down and see me, but she still would come down and see me, and that made me feel good because the owners were saying that she doesn't really do that with a lot of people. Anyway, while I was hanging out with Skipper eating my breakfast burrito, I was snipping the threads on some mini tote bags I put together this morning. I got like 15 done in less than an hour, which felt very good. They're nothing super fancy or anything, but I figure it's a good excuse to use the holiday fabric that I wouldn't use otherwise. I don't really like doing seasonal things. Anyway, I am off to the event. I will try to set you up to watch me set my stuff up, and I will try to check in throughout the market. Let's do the dang thing. I made table back and cover parking. I made twice my table so far. There's like 20 minutes left. 14 minutes left. We'll see.
quietly packed up. I usually have to do it in 2 trips, one to get the car and one to bring all of my stuff down when I park closer to the building. So nothing too overwhelming. And the parking is cheaper than it used to be, which is nice. It went okay. I didn't hit my goal, but I still made twice my expenses for coming down here. So I'm okay with that. Like with tips, I collected a total of $123.50. I love it. Square isn't even taking $4 out of that. So that's nice. And for fucking once, I actually added the specific categories because I updated my Square to have the separate cost of things, because normally I just did the math in my head and typed it into the like keypad checkout like on this screen, which is fine, but then everything was just like random numbers. But looks like, I mean, I know, I'm gonna guess, I sold 1 sling, I sold 2 dumpling pouches, I sold a set of earrings, I sold a necklace, and a mystery bag. Yeah, cool. You know, I get to pay myself for some of my time, so I will take it. I have spent my time making less money. Ooh, except where did I put my car key? It has to be in here somewhere because I did get into the video. Oh, there we go. All right, so not too bad. I mean, it's also February, and I just think like times is hard, you know? So I'm not taking it personally, which is the important part. Thanks for coming along. And then yeah, I'm just gonna leave everything in my car for tomorrow's market. I do need to go check on cats once I'm done here, go hang out with them for a bit. And then I think my partner is going to make some pizza for dinner. I'm very excited about not having to cook. I will check in tomorrow. Okay, hi, good morning. Hi, you are wreaking havoc, huh? Did you get spooked? Yeah, let's pick that stuff up, okay? Oh, hi. She's so small. So small, so cute. Anyway, I'm cat sitting. Gonna be heading over to the Rockingham Market. That's the one I organize at the brewery. One of my best friends is gonna be there selling her felted floral arrangements and stuff. I will share pictures here. She's been making these bouquets and like roses and everything in addition to her other like stunning needle felting stuff. So I'm so excited to see it. I have like clutched my chest seeing some of the photos that she's been posting. And then another friend is going to be selling her jewelry, and another friend is going to be selling candles. And oh, someone I've only met, I think of as once. It was over the course of 2 days. We were both at a convention where there was nobody. I think doing events like that convention where it was 2 days of just nothing. I maybe made $100 over the course of the 2 days. If that. I don't even think I hit that. Now that I'm a little more self-assured and like confident, I guess it is a word, but I'm just more comfortable with myself and my business. Like I'm not fighting the imposter syndrome every second of me being at a market. Someone that was at that 2-day convention, this had to have been 2019, who makes beer hats, like they're hats that look like hops. It's brilliant. The name of their business is called Lark's Head Brewing, and it's not an actual brewery, but seems appropriate. And I feel bad that I hadn't thought of them before, because what a perfect fit for a brewery market. So they're coming, and I haven't seen them since 2019. Christ, so it's almost been 5 years. Oh my God. Oh my God. What? I glitched. Did you see it? Fingers crossed today goes all right. I probably won't be able to do any check-ins because I'm also coordinating the market. I'm gonna be like assisting other people if there's downtime with my stuff. And there's not really any like time to myself when I do anything at the brewery because again, I have a bunch of friends that are gonna be in the same area with me. Like we're all in this one room. In addition to all the people that will be there, hopefully people I know come out, but also like a lot of the regulars come out to support this. So even if it's not someone actively shopping with me, I usually end up spending a lot of my time chatting with people that are just regulars at the brewery and just know me from other things. Or hopefully maybe asking about other sewing jobs. Oh, I did do my alterations night the other night, and I I repaired some pants for someone, and I didn't realize they had left. So when I was packing my stuff up, I thought they were still around, and then I didn't, not that they had to say goodbye to me before they left. It's not like they were in my house, but they've come by most of the markets, so hopefully they will swing by and can pick up their pants today. And I will update afterwards. See you on the other side. Okay, hi. I failed y'all. I lost my camera. I found it, obviously. I was very distressed. It's fine. It was in the car the whole time, but because I took it out to update earlier, I didn't put it back where it usually goes in my event bag. These are the pictures and the video that I took. I loved this setup. I sold a couple of the small dog bags. I was really excited because I didn't sell any yesterday, and it's my newest product. I've had like people request custom ones, and I've gifted some to people, and they've been like, you need to make these for your business, and I just haven't for whatever reason, because they're a pain in the ass. That's why. So I converted about half of my regular flat keychain bag stash into the dog bags. Sold another keychain bag, and I sold one sling bag, and someone also got a matching dumpling pouch, and oh, 2 other keychain bags. So a lot of mini bags, and then someone that was so excited about the big sling bag, which I know it's a bigger ticket item, right? It's $55. When it finds its people, it's worth it. I know my stuff is not for everybody, but the people that came in and were like freaking out about it, I was like, oh, these are my people. Yeah, I made as much as I did yesterday, like to the dollar, which is super rad considering I don't pay for a table fee here because I do a lot of the curating of people. I like reach out to folks and I help set up in the morning. Came up with the idea in the first place, which is nice. It's also only a $10 table fee, and that includes a free beer. So if you're buying a beer plus tip, that's $10 right there. So like it evens out, I think, for folks. And I have to say, the pack out, this has been the easiest setup and breakdown I have ever had. I am so glad I invested that bit of money at the end of last year because it's not cheap stuff. And I was gifted the base one with the wheels for Christmas from my mother-in-law. I had already bought one for my jewelry, which I didn't put any of that out today because like certain crowds, it's just not for them. I've never sold jewelry at a Rockingham market, so I just don't bother putting it out. And I also didn't put out any mystery bags. Pleasantly surprised with how today went. I don't have any overhead. It's a place I come to hang out anyway. And I specifically have people that I like to spend time with as the other vendors. So it's like I'm forcing people to hang out with me. I'm starting, at least trying to, like value how my time is spent and really take that into consideration. All right, I'm gonna go check on cats and then I'm gonna go home. And I don't have D&D tonight. Normally I play on Sunday nights. I can't do fuck all the same day as a market. I did want to show you the felt flower that my friend Jamie made. I will update with what I get up to tomorrow because I have Patreon stuff to put together because it's Monday, we're into February. I feel like I'm behind because it's already the 4th, but like I assume those of you that get the physical perks aren't like, it is more than 5 days into the new month and we have not received our thing. So I have the gifts for you set aside already. I just need to like take the time to pack them up. I did also get an Etsy order yesterday, and this is the one thing about having everything be one-offs is that my inventory is the same for my in-person markets and my Etsy stuff. So thankfully, someone had been eyeballing one of my zipper bags yesterday, put it back, didn't end up getting it. Thank goodness, because a couple minutes after that, I checked my phone and saw that I had gotten an Etsy order for that bag. It was like, I try to be diligent about checking it. I don't get Etsy orders very often, like literally a couple a month. So it's not usually an issue, but it is something I have to be aware of. The only time I haven't been able to fulfill an Etsy order is when someone literally stole stuff from my display at an in-person market. Where like, I can't control that. So that was a bummer. They thankfully were up for taking a different bag. Off I go to do things. I will check in tomorrow. Hi, do you want to come greet your people? What do you think? Little baby, come here. What's up, little man? Yeah. Do you have a good day so far? Thankfully, he hasn't been too spiteful about the fact that I wasn't around at all this weekend between the two events and then taking care of those kitties. I'm home now. You got me pretty much all week. Honestly, I might even bring him to my therapy appointment because my therapist loves him. Loves dogs in general, but he just kind of hunkers down next to me on the couch and it's really cute. So maybe do that. It's like he knew I was using the Dachshund washi tape. Okay, let's tuck you back in. So, not the best sales weekend, but not the worst sales weekend considering it's early February. I don't know what I was expecting. As for those mini totes, I don't know how much extra attention they drew, but anybody that got something from me was not upset about getting one. They were pleasantly surprised. I think there's only one person that turned it down, and then they looked at them and were like, actually, no, never mind. Those are pretty cute. So whatever little extra incentives I can do. That's not really fabric I want to work into my regular inventory. It's a good way to use it somehow. First thing Monday morning, I don't know why, it was really bothering me that I didn't have that pile finished, because I do this thing where I need to close the loop in my brain. It's like I have an idea for something, and if I don't see it through, sometimes I completely forget about it like 2 days later, but sometimes it just haunts me until I complete the thing, and then I can move on with my life. So even though nobody really seemed too excited about the mini totes, I wanted to have them finished. And some of these I can do for more like a spring event, so I will probably set those aside and just keep the very pinky heart ones for the market I'm doing this coming weekend. Also, one of those ones, these more like white floral ones, had a hole in it, which was there when I was cutting up the fabric. And then when I had my sections before I started sewing things together, I could not for the life of me find where that hole was. So it was nice to actually catch that before I gave it away to somebody. Because I'm trying to promote my business by handing out freebies, meaning I should also add tags to these, huh? Probably I shouldn't be handing out things with rips in them. Not that I want people paying for stuff that have giant rips in them, but you know what I mean. I don't want anything I have to have giant rips in them. Then yeah, I wrapped up the one Etsy order that I had gotten over the weekend, which thankfully I grabbed that off of my display at the Saturday market before somebody nabbed it, because it was a kind of a close call, and that's the main frustration with having one set of inventory that I have both online and in my own in-person events. Like, I don't sell a lot of items, so it's not usually an issue, but crisis averted, it was all fine. Then I put together all of the Patreon perks. I have 6 people I send out something to monthly. Hello, Jeanette and Sarah and Amanda and John and Doug, and newest to the bunch is Nikki, so thank you all for being there. I also sent something to my fairy godchild last month, part of the custom shit tier, and then put something together for Chris. I like them to be a surprise, and I don't know when they're gonna get those, especially because one of those is going to a different country, but it's always very satisfying when I have like a big tray of packages to put into the mailbox. I'm sure my mail carrier doesn't love it, but if I fits, I sits. If I can get them into the mailbox, I've never had an issue with them going on their way, where there are certain items like the Ramona Flowers bag from last video and my House Moving Castle cardigans, I can't usually fit them in there, so I do have to bring them to the post office. But speaking of Patreon, thank you everybody for supporting me over there. It's because of y'all I get to spend my time making stuff that I want to make. Like the next couple days, I'm just making specialty items for the market this weekend where I don't have to only be beholden to stuff that doesn't excite me, if that makes sense. I can make the time investment and material investment into things because of y'all. So if you've been here for any amount of time and you want to go check it out, the link is always in my description, and there's a whole range of different tiers. Anyways, the leftover project, custom order, commission, whatever, I didn't get done last week or the week before. I got too overwhelmed. I was doing that thing where like, if I don't get the whole thing done in one sitting, it's not worth starting, which is such a broken way to think. And I try to challenge those thoughts a lot, but sometimes it's hard because that's like my default setting. So doing the custom cushion cover for someone, especially because they had asked for a couple adjustments, it was going to make it more difficult. That was making me dread doing it that much more. And it was huge. It's a 6-foot long cushion, so like it was a big undertaking, and I did finally get it done yesterday. It took me like 4.5 hours to do it. I'm actually going to talk to my therapist today as far as how much to charge for it, because having to put the zipper along one of the long edges instead of one of the short ends, where I could have pulled it on like a sack, like a pillowcase or something, but having it in the center,
it was just more difficult to get in. I did go over it with an iron and that seemed to help, but it's not the same as like hitting it with a nice hot steamer. So I feel like it turned into not my best work, but also not by any fault of my own. So like, I don't know. I'm gonna talk to her about it. I'm about to go to therapy. Ooh, actually, if I don't shut up, I'm gonna be late. So I will see you back here in 2 Fridays with another video. Thank you so much for hanging out. Okay, I'm gonna listen to some tunes, go grab the rest of my stuff.
What are you getting up to over there?
Whoa! I feel like I need a sign off, but I'll talk to you tomorrow.